She definitely implies that there was like humiliation rituals going on.
Yeah. And then it all clicked. I was like, okay, I could see it.
Definitely on some weird old time. I'm not condoning cussing, but to gaslight me into think this letter is way worse than it is, that's what made me mad, because I was like, oh, all of you sat around that table acting holier than thou, because the guy read a note where he said 2 cuss words, and everybody was like, I can't believe he talked to you like that.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the show like, you guys are way worse.
I was so shook. Do you want to read the note verbatim? I do wish that they would have some sort of therapist that could give more than what Nick and Vanessa give.
Because like I said, some crazy shit will be going down, and they'll be like, well, I think the important thing is that we all learn from this experience. And you're like, what? Nope. What are you guys talking about?
Like, that's what you have to say to that? Then there's Edris, who is just there.
Yeah, definitely performative. It was hard for me to grasp the idea that he makes actual connections with people. A lot of bad toxicity. Honestly, was surprised everybody said yes in the proposals. These people are not ready.
So the other 2 couples, I think, are probably like my favorite couples. And of course, they swapped partners as well.
Yeah.
But Kate, let's see, who do we have? David and Casey. I don't think that they really had too much drama. I think like their thing is like, I think he was the one who couldn't really commit yet. She was wanting him to, and he gave her like, I think there was like 3 different promise rings. There was like a whole like thing about that.
Yeah.
So many promise rings. But I really enjoyed David. I question like their dynamic, because like they really didn't seem compatible.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, clearly they loved each other because of, at the end. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, and maybe I just thought maybe her personality didn't translate well on camera, because that's what I had trying to chalk it up to that. Because not like that she was doing anything wrong, but I couldn't see what it was that, because I guess when you had something to compare it to, so because we saw him with the partner swap.
Yeah.
So we saw him with Monica. And I mean, they hit it off, and it almost like if you were just seeing them out in public, you would have thought they were a great couple.
Yes. Yeah.
And there was a moment there where I was like, they are going to pick each other.
It definitely seemed like
it kind of just ended abruptly, but there were some moments in there where I was like, I mean, they definitely alluded to like wanting to get, he made a little joke about making out with her, and it didn't seem like she would have said no. And I think maybe they did a good job of just not crossing the boundaries and going back to their partner. Not maybe they did from what we saw, they did a good job of not crossing the ultimate boundary, right? But there were moments where I was like, oh, these 2 are going to end up together. David has a very outgoing, funny, very infectious personality. Monica seems like to be maybe a fixer, where she wants to help people grow and learn, and she like her whole thing was like, I want to get him to be vulnerable with me and talk about himself, and I want to like learn him and stuff like that. And I at first, obviously, I
love that about her, because like he did open up and say that that's something that like he was taught to never do. And he didn't even do that with Casey, and they were together for 5.5 years. Still together, obviously, but she actually was able to kind of like get him to break down, and he did open up to her, and that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like, and he would say things like, oh, like I could never be this way with like Casey, like like making those little comments about like how he couldn't be like open with her. So I even thought, I was like, oh my goodness, we are gonna see something happening here.
Yeah.
And I feel like they were in the most solid couples, like you know what I mean. So I was kind of nervous at the same time. But I feel like they were a great choice for each other, because like the whole experiment is for them to like choose someone that they feel that they can like learn and grow from. Yeah. And I feel like they did that.
Yeah. Yeah. And in another world, they were super compatible. They might have worked out together. I mean, there were times where, he was pretty like standing business on, when she was trying to pry into a little bit, and he just was like I was taught not to do that. A man doesn't talk about his vulnerabilities with a woman. And it kind of made her cry, and then, but he didn't budge. Like that was his thing. And then there was another moment where she talked about being friends with a guy, I guess, who had been friends with for 20 years. And she like, I guess, hangs out with him sometimes on the weekends or stays over there. But it was like strictly platonic. And David was like, yeah, that wouldn't work with me. You can't go over. And she couldn't figure out. She was like, "You wouldn't let me go to my friends." He was like, "No, I'm just not that guy." You know what I mean? And so there were moments of like, "Oh, okay," but Monica, even though she was a bit like taken back by some of it, she actually handled it fairly well. Again, Monica seems like another person who did the work.
Yeah.
She's fairly emotionally intelligent, but she uses it for good. I didn't see many flaws with her in terms of just, how she handles relationships and communication. And, maybe there was a moment where she tried a little too hard, but I don't know. I thought she was really good in how she handled everything, and definitely a great partner, and so I really enjoyed watching her because, again, another person on there who seemed to have done some work internally and then wanted to kind of help other people do the same type of work. So
absolutely, yeah. So with them, was there anything that stood out? I kind of feel like they didn't really have too much drama, going on, like these two couples. They did the experience really well. I think Casey had a little bit of insecurities, when she would see them walking around together and things like that. But
the biggest drama was the hug thing. I guess she's an affectionate person. This was a
right.
little, I don't want to say weird to me. I thought it was a bit of a excuse because I thought her and David seemed to be getting a little close. And again, I didn't see any crazy boundaries crossed. Maybe some words were said that I was like, I wouldn't like if my girl said that.
Yeah.
But the whole, I just like hugs and stuff. And maybe, I don't know. I hug. I'm not I need hugs. She seemed to really want to be held or hugged and stuff. And Dave was like, yeah, I held her and I hugged her and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I'm not mad at it. I guess it's not the craziest thing in the world, but that was the big tiff, right? It was just the other couple couldn't really get over how she wanted to be hugged, and he went on and he did it. And I guess it was a thing where he would console her, because he cared about her. And, people had an issue with, or I guess their couples had it, or the guy, the boyfriend her boyfriend definitely had an issue with it. So
yeah, for sure.
That was the biggest thing. And it didn't really turn into anything. She explained her thing. He explained his thing, and everybody kind of just moved on.
Yeah. I still think that they were pretty respectful with how they did it, but there was kind of some flirting going on.
Definitely
for sure.
Flirting,
you could tell that they were.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was nice to see a normal couple.
Yeah.
Two normal people actually going through a trial marriage in a healthy way. And then of course Casey and Luke, they were in the trial marriage together, and I think that they did pretty well. It was interesting because I thought that they were more compatible than Casey and
weird.
David.
No, it was weird. It was definitely there was definitely Casey and Casey and Luke were compatible, and then David and Monica were more compatible. I was like, oh, y'all should just
just
separate.
Switch partners.
I don't know.
No, that was so interesting to see because I feel because Casey, she just kind of seemed a little awkward. I still can't pinpoint what her deal is. I don't know if it's insecurities or feeling weird on camera or something.
It could be. I just there was nothing stand out about her. I guess it was just she kind of had a sense of humor, but then it kind of not really.
Yeah,
she wasn't
her sense of humor was also different too. There were some things that she would say, and it would be I don't know, I didn't really find that funny, but Luke thought that she was a good time.
Luke definitely found her.
That's why I was like, oh, they're so compatible.
No, sure. I ain't mad at it. No, watching her and Luke, yeah. I mean, and I did see him get her to laugh a few times. So I was just like, okay, I don't know. I mean, Luke's whole thing, I guess he, I'll be honest. What I personally thought with the whole Luke thing is that he admitted to working at Olive Garden. And I feel like
you were really
I was, because I was like, are you the waiter or are you the manager? And obviously he was studying to do something. I
think it was to be a firefighter.
It was something. Yeah, he was studying to be something and had to go through a physicals test. So it looked like he was obviously trying to grow. But I almost thought Monica's all right, you got to do a little more than be the Olive Garden guy before we get married. And she didn't come out and say that. But I just personally, and it could just be me, but I definitely felt that might play a little bit into the whole marriage thing. Because other than that, they didn't seem to not get along.
Right.
No,
so, they definitely seem to get along really well. For sure.
And he adored her. He adores her, which you should. Monica's a great catch. Really pretty, and then just very, very smart and intelligent, and so definitely there. Yeah,
absolutely.
So that was their kind of whole dynamic, and then obviously we get to the end in the finale.
Yeah,
with both couples.
With so Casey and
Monica. No, I'm sorry.
David.
Casey and David.
You're putting the girls together.
I know. With Casey, I keep thinking it's a
They ended up. Nick Lachey ended up marrying them on stage, so that was really
Which we
nice.
Loved. That was an emotional part, and I was really actually happy to see that because again, it was nice to see them come back together, find their love, realize that they love each other and are true partners, and then to be able to kind of experience getting married on the show.
Yes.
And then getting Nick Lachey to marry them because he had recently become ordained.
Yeah.
And that was really beautiful to see. Because at the end of the day, yes, we like the drama, the turmoil. That's the entertaining part. But the part that tugs at your heartstrings and the part that makes you emotional is the happy ending.
Yes.
So it was a really, really beautiful thing to see. Super, super duper congrats to them. But yeah, that part was like, okay, at least there's a lot of toxicity on this show. Yeah, a lot of bad toxicity. Honestly, was surprised everybody said yes in the proposals because it was like, how is everybody getting married? These people are not ready. But it seemed like David and I was iffy on David and Ashley, but I was glad. Not Ashley. I'm sorry, David and
Casey.
Casey. I keep forgetting her name. And it was but I was happy that And I think that I can see like the appeal with David is he's a super chill guy. Again, he's got a great personality, super outgoing. Mm-hmm. He's jokey, right?
He's so charming.
Yeah, very charming guy. He laughs at the right time. Even when he's serious, you don't have to be worried that it's going to turn into a fight. He seemed to like, hey, I'm serious about this, but ha 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 at the end of it. You know what I mean? I'm going to make a joke, and I really dug his personality because there was a point there when he was talking about how he's not vulnerable and telling women their problems. Like that's a very red pill thing to say.
Yeah.
So I almost got a little worried because with that, when he said that, and then he was like adamantly against her hanging out with her friend, I was like, oh, I wonder if he's a little red pill. Like he seemed to be chill.
That would have been so disappointing.
Yeah. Well, again, saying like the whole, you can't show your emotions and telling a girl that is like not how we deal with men. Some men just have that view, but it's definitely a very, very red pill, ideology that they talk about all the time, and one that I adamantly argue against. So I was glad Monica was able to kind of break that wall because I got a little worried for a second there, but other than that, he seemed to be pretty great guy.
Yeah,
and so again, just really, really happy to see that, and so congrats to them.
Yes,
super happy. And then of course Monica and Luke.
Yeah, they still together.
Yep.
The reunion.
Were they engaged? They were engaged.
Yeah,
they got engaged.
Yep, they were.
They got engaged, and they were still engaged, so they were going to get married. He had passed his exam and his test, so I think he.
Yes, he did. So it looks like things are like really coming up for them.
Yeah,
which is really exciting. We love to see that as well.
Luke, you missed out on the Nick Lachey, being your wedding minister, but it's all good. It's all good.
It's okay. Maybe you didn't know.
Yeah. No, that was dope.
That was really cool to see.
Yeah.
So then we have just a couple more couples to get through.
Yeah.
That were very short lived.
They were short lived. They're at the reunion.
They were there at the reunion.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's go to Jebin and Alex first.
Sure.
Because it just the way that this flowed, you'll understand.
Yeah.
So of course, if you saw it, they're the couple who got kicked off the show, and
which is crazy.
It was so wild.
It's crazy.
But also, I'm kind of here for it at the same time. So Jebin had wrote Alex a note. So after the first couple episodes where they're like dating and like getting to know the people and who they want to do a trial marriage with, Jebin's insecurities started creeping in. He wrote Alex a note that we really we've been just like pondering on, and we honestly couldn't really see what everybody's like issue was and like why the producers were like,
Yeah.
they need to be
This is the
removed.
final.
He needs to be removed.
Yeah, this is the end all be all. We can't believe you wrote a note. It seemed like a made up rule out of nowhere.
Literally.
Where it's like, that's against the rules. We're kicking you off the show. Especially as you watch the show and you're like,
and
this is way worse. Like what Killian did is way worse.
Having people.
Yeah, having that conversation with his friends, to telling her if she was more not as modest, he would smash her. Like these are way worse. And not just that.
Yeah.
There was fights, just loud fights of people cussing at each other. And that's what made me mad, because I was like, oh, all of you sitting around that table acting holier than thou because the guy read a note where he said 2 cuss words in the note, and everybody was like, I can't believe he talked to you like that.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the show like, you guys are way worse.
My goodness.
Way worse. What was happening right now? So
I was so shook.
Yeah. That was wild.
Do you want to read
I'm gonna
the
briefly
note verbatim? Because I feel like people need to hear it again.
Yeah.
Because if you were on that train of like, get him out of here. Look, I wanted him out, but for a different reason.
Yeah, I just thought it was goofy and didn't match with the show.
He was just so goofy. And like, who could he have helped? Like, what could you have learned from Jebin? He was 23 years old and not serious. He just kept saying like he wanted to hang out with the guys. I don't think he was there really to do the work and to help someone else,
And I don't think he would have connected. Like, it's like, well, did y'all vet these people? Because I don't know who he would have. He was super young, very goofy, very just silly. But like, who would have even matched with him that felt some sort of, because there is like a bit of, hey, you want to feel a connection with somebody else to kind of really see how much you want to be married. And it was kind of like, who would have connected with this guy, number one? But and it almost felt like, oh, they, like, I don't know, I might be just shooting them bail, but I was like, maybe they just found a reason to get him off the show, because this note was not.
It wasn't.
Yeah, when they were bringing up the note, I was like, oh, it must be some wild shit in there, And
serious. The way that like Nick and Vanessa was like, I mean, they were so dead ass serious.
Yeah,
and we're like, Alex, like we're gonna have you read the note. And
dramatic.
Like they just couldn't believe it. And then we had, I think it was Luke, who was like, I don't feel comfortable with my woman being in a trial marriage with him. I don't know about you guys. And then everybody is like, and
your
I
girl's in a trial marriage with David and almost got snatched up, buddy. You should have been way more worried about David than Jebin.
Literally, like with Jebin, it probably just would have been like all fun. Like you wouldn't have learned anything from him, and he probably would have been annoying.
Yeah,
however, like you wouldn't have had to deal with any toxicity.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, go ahead and read this. This terrible note.
Right. So she starts reading the note. They make her read it in out loud as if this was gonna like make some sort of crazy impact. But but the note said, "I'm really not sure what you came here to do. You already had 2 dates with Killian. Then you look me dead in the face and say you're falling for someone. You say that you should go talk to him. You say that she should go talk to him. She's falling for someone. You say his name over and over to me and point at him when he walks by." And then she says, "And the reason I did is because I think Killian is hilarious, and we just laughed about everything." That's what she said while she was reading the note. Then she goes back into the note, like, "Up until this point, this experience has made me feel less confident in you, as clearly you have something else in your mind. I'm not the focus for you. I don't want you to make me look dumber than you already have. You ruined it. You ruined everything. You effed us over. I want to say things can get better, but this time you did it. I honestly hope to God you guys weren't touching on camera. Oh my God, I'm not effing doing this. Who knows what else you've done? You're into him. I don't even know. There is no way we are getting married." I'm not condoning cussing. He didn't cuss her out. I'm not condoning cussing, but to gaslight me and to think this letter is way worse than it is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
This was a very light, especially compared to what happened on the show. There were moments where I was like, oh, they're going to remove this guy at this point. I literally thought that I thought Killian was going to get removed at some point.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the note that not only did y'all remove him for, everybody acted like he said the most wild thing, and then y'all went on to the show to be way more unhinged than this letter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Call me crazy. I know sometimes I live in a different world than you guys because we're just on two different two different universes. But yeah, this just didn't do it for me. I don't know, They ended up talking about how they were immediately together after that because, that note wasn't that crazy.
Right.
They did not work out.
They didn't. No.
But for other reasons.
Yeah.
And he ended up saying like, "Hey, I'm glad I didn't finish this thing because I would have probably been very upset." I mean, at least he passed her a note. Like he didn't say it on camera. He didn't go off on her in person. He's like, "I'm gonna write a nice discreet note because I don't want to be on here and you're not gonna make me look crazy. And you told me you fell for somebody and it's been like 2 days."
Yeah.
Which I
That
mean,
was
listen,
wild.
again, not condoning crashing out, but
I think
it
that
could
would
make you crash
anybody
out
go crazy.
for somebody you're trying to like marry. And they tell you they're falling for someone in 2 days. Yeah, that's a wild thing to be told.
Because like 2 days, who knows like where like by the end of it, like where Alex's head was gonna be at.
Yeah,
like,
I
and
don't
the things
know.
that like maybe she could have done because like she seemed like she was the type of girl like who was gonna go into the experience full force.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I think Jebin just knew he wasn't going to be able to handle any of it.
Yeah, especially with him not being able to connect with nobody.
Yeah.
What's he gonna be doing on his end? It's just, I don't know.
No. So I was actually glad that they got kicked off the show.
That was crazy work for this show, though. Ultimatum. Yeah. Again, if you just wanted the guy off the show, I'll shoot you some bail there. But if it was really for the extremity of this note, I don't know. You guys, I don't know what's happening.
I would have much rather like Nick and Vanessa say, "Hey, look, Jebin, unfortunately, like we see that you're not making any connections here.
Sure.
And that is the whole like reason why you're here.
Yeah.
And for that reason, we can't allow you to move forward,
Yeah.
you know, in a trial marriage because like you're not connecting.
Yeah.
What can someone learn from you? You know, like,
Yeah.
I would have like really respected them at that point.
Yeah, but like again, gaslight us into thinking this note
was terrible.
The worst thing that he could have done, and he's got to go because of it now. And to make him look like a threat, super disingenuous. That was actually pretty unfair and kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
because like this is going on TV. You guys. Even if somebody was hearing that note and they didn't immediately think it was that crazy, the way you guys reacted to it literally made me was like, wait, did I miss something? Maybe it was crazier than I thought. Like literally, I was thinking, I was like, did she not read the whole note? That's what you made me think. And I'm pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, somebody just sitting there watching that might have had one opinion and then the way you guys reacted could have easily changed to be like, oh, okay, maybe this note was crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, again, not condoning cussing at your partner, but we're not going to act like he was just calling her the B word and threatening her life or threatening any sort of violence. Like that's what I was expecting. Like, oh, he must have like said some wilds.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then like moving on into the show, like all sorts of wild things were happening. And then you find out that Killian actually does call his girl a hoe and all these crazy things that like she confessed to. It's like, and then lastly, so since they got kicked off the show, we have Edris and Jessica.
Yeah, the weirdest couple on here.
Very interesting couple. I just could not put my finger on them. You know, she seemed lovely.
She seemed like
she really did, and you know, she had great conversation. And like, then there's Edris, who is just there. He was just like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't really figure him out because of his demeanor. It was just like really, he was awkward and weird.
Yeah.
Almost like he didn't want to make connections. And he did make a comment about like how when people meet him, they like think that he's high all the time. But I know like we were talking about it and you had mentioned like maybe it was just like all an act.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely performative. I mean, watching it, I don't know the guy, but anybody who behaves that way, it was hard for me to grasp the idea that he makes actual valuable connections with people with that type of like behavior or that type of personality. To be super like airy, just very spaced out when he talked. And again, I know we laughed about it and thought, oh, maybe he was high the whole time. But I mean, yeah, he had to be smoking some strong stuff. Super spaced out, really couldn't formulate a sentence well.
It was
kind of just like would blank out for a while. And again, sure, maybe he had been smoking, but it was like, this is not a human being. He's doing it. This can't be real. Like, he's doing this for the camera. And then
Had to have, yeah.
and then we do get to the finale where he's obviously he's having the back and forth with Jessica, and he's speaking very clear.
Yeah.
And he's very, very he's not sharp or anything.
No.
But he's definitely a lot more talkative and conversational.
Not staring into space.
Yeah, so
like
unless he just didn't take a hit of the blunt in this one, it was just really weird to see him go from the guy who couldn't formulate a sentence to, oh, now he's speaking like perfect English and his vernacular is just fine and he's able to have a regular conversation. Yeah, that was a weird dynamic, but it definitely seemed performative. As soon as I watched it, I was like, because the way he behaved, I don't know how you even have, like, how do you fall for that? You don't fall for that. There's no girl that's like, oh, I love this personality. The guy who doesn't talk and can't formulate a sentence. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, especially when like she was pretty like well put together.
Right.
Like,
and even more so the way that he was put together, like he dressed well, he always had like a fresh haircut, he was always lined up. Typically somebody who looks the part, I mean, unless you're just great at grooming and then you like everything else, kind of run hand in hand when you kind of look good, you dress well, your suits are tailored, but you can't speak well. I don't know. Again, just a weird dynamic. Didn't seem real. Seemed like he maybe was trolling us. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, just trying to find a way to get off the show, which he clearly found a way.
He definitely did. So, okay. And I found it to be bizarre just because of like his like behavior, of course. And then he just like gets up and walks over, picks up a ring, and then comes around to Jessica and is like, "Will you marry me?"
Yeah.
And it's just the most like, she is
in love. And you're like, this is the guy that made you fall in love. This is not him. This is not the real him. Yeah.
And I looked, they were only together for 1.5 years at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
So not too long.
Yeah.
But I was just like, wow, like he's just like so straight faced, giving her nothing. Will you marry me? And she is just like so ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
And so, of course, their experience ends there. But in the reunion, he admits that he only did that because Alex got kicked off the show. And that was the only girl that he wanted to go into a trial marriage with.
Oh, my gosh.
So he literally just rushed into an engagement.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to be there anymore because the girl that he liked was no longer there.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Well, obviously, and her reaction to, I mean, he said, even in the reunion, I mean, he was super disrespectful. I mean, he was insanely disrespectful. And
that was Jessica's thing. She was just like, I am so tired of you disrespecting me.
Yeah.
Like, I am done with it.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, where was this guy in the beginning of the show? This is a whole different person. And she alludes to some, like, he's into some wild stuff, and it's like, yeah, I can kind of, now I'm putting two to two together. This guy's into some weird things. She alludes to some stuff. They ask her to open Pandora's box, and she's like, no, I'm going to close it. But she definitely implies that there's humiliation rituals going on, which, listen, that's not my world.
Know what that is.
I don't know. Is it BDSM? I don't know. Like, it's not my world. That's not my world. But obviously, however he gets down is different. It's different.
It's very different, and it makes her not feel good about herself.
It's very
clear, when she was talking about it. Like, I was really upset that she shut the box because I just wanted to be like, what is it? Because she made it seem like, I mean, he's put her through some things because of his, preferences and his behaviors and such, and so. Yeah, and then it all clicked. I was like, okay, I could see it.
Definitely weird old time. Definitely on some weird old time.
Yes,
I ain't gonna sex shame him or nothing, but like just his personality definitely is off. And then I this isn't shaming. He was disrespectful, so I don't have any sort of respect for him. His behavior, so I don't really care to call him out on the person he was. Yeah. Glad Jessica got away from that. Don't know how that relationship came to be in the first place. I don't even understand that.
Bizarre. Yeah.
But no, I don't understand half of the shit I see in the world nowadays anyway. So yeah. But yeah, so they didn't end up together, and that was probably for the best. And be careful of that guy.
Absolutely. Look out for him. Idris. But yeah, I think that those were all the couples.
Yeah.
Yep. Did we miss anything?
No, I'm sure.
What a
I mean, I'm
juicy
sure.
season.
Yeah, it was
Like,
crazy. Obviously, there was some parent stuff we didn't really go over, but neither here nor there. Obviously, the biggest parenting thing I think was Killian and Ashley's father.
yes.
But other than that, yeah, I think everything else was pretty on point with what we went over. Yeah, with the ultimate, like again, I think they better job of vetting.
Yeah.
Especially when like Nick and Vanessa, y'all are OGs in the game, right? And I get it. We gotta do things for ratings. But I don't know. That was some bizarre couples on there for sure. And maybe you guys do throw them on there for like the entertainment factor and then try to get down to like the real ones. But I definitely think the show could use some sort of counselor on hand. Therapist on hand to offer the couples when you do have situations like the Blake and Ashley situation where they're kind of having this dispute and you can kind of talk to Ashley and Blake and Haley, right? Because these were toxic things. Now 4 of these people are single and they're out in the world again dating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we gotta at least like, 3 of them is like scary.
Yes.
Right? Killian
and
is
they didn't learn anything.
Nothing.
They walked away like
thinking they're all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like even Haley, how she ended with Blake. Again, I wasn't there, so whatever there could be validity in that for sure.
Right.
But even outside of that, it just how do you watch the show back and not be like, yeah, that I do look crazy.
Yes.
I'm getting irritated every 5 seconds.
Yeah, like Haley,
like what's going on
her
internally
irritation.
with you?
She should see her the anger coming out.
Yeah,
and
that's
unfortunately, no one addressed that with her
no
on
one
the
addressed,
show.
Right. No one addressed any of that.
Really sad.
Yeah,
and she was partnered up with Killian, who like had his own issue. So it's like
she couldn't even like.
That's the unfortunate part with this type of like show is like the producers. They're wanting them to lean on each other to learn things. But it's like, if you have chosen the wrong partner, or like maybe in the beginning they come off as like somebody who you think would be great to partner up with, and then they show their true colors, and then now you just, are in this toxic situation with them and you're learning nothing. Like it's just really unfortunate. I do wish that they would have some sort of therapist or someone on the show that could give more than what Nick and Vanessa give.
Because like I said, whether they sometimes give some good advice, but there are times where they'll just blatantly skip over some some crazy shit will be going down, and they'll be like, well, I think the important thing is that we all learn from this experience. And you're like, what? No, what are you guys talking about?
Like that's what you have to say to that?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like,
somebody
okay,
really
this
needs
has to be part
address.
this has to be just part of the show, right? Like there's no way you both watch this as a happy couple who've been together for so long, and you guys in your heads aren't sitting there like, what the fuck is happening, right? And we need to like help these people out. Nope, you guys are just like, well, I was like, like the important thing is, y'all learned and you went your separate ways. It's like, no, that's not. None of them learned anything. Or like, there's still toxic people and might even be worse off, right? Because now they're validated. Because like I said, even like what you said with Haley when she went with Killian, there was no there was no growth for her. The goal there is that like maybe you go to another couple and then you kind of have the same problems that you have in your own, and then you start to look internally like, okay, maybe it is me, or maybe that's what I'm doing. But when you don't get to do that because you're partnered with somebody like Killian, and he's dealing with his issues the whole time, and then you're not getting anything out of that, and then you just go back to Blake. Like nothing happened for her. Yeah. She went to Killian, a bunch of drama happened, and she went back to Blake. You didn't grow. Nothing happened for you, right? So you're the same person when you went back, and and it just, it was just like, so you guys are just going back to the same problems. I don't understand,
Oh, so, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And Blake too. Like maybe he does. Like Blake and Monica would have been a crazy pairing.
Yeah.
That would have been a crazy pairing.
Yeah. That would have been. I think that.
And they probably would have got along.
They would have. I feel like they were. Because
Blake had to deal with Ashley, right? And her craziness. But Monica was intelligent, right? And if Blake did have some internal issues, like maybe Monica would have got it out of him. I just had a hard time finding Blake's issue, beside the fact like he was fairly stubborn, because when he honed in on something, he wasn't gonna let it go. Yeah. Even after somebody like Ashley came to him and was like, I want to say like, I appreciate you helping me grow, and then like his response to that was like, I don't appreciate you, let me express my feelings. And she was like, what the hell? And I was like, oh, Blake don't let stuff go.
No.
Like, he's going to say his piece. And so, there could have been something there where it's like, maybe he was able to grow from that as well. But yeah, they just didn't get to. Yeah. So, of course they get back together and now we have the same two toxic people. I don't want to call them toxic. We have the same toxicity in our relationship that we had prior.
Right.
And what happens is like, even if Blake is correct in the things that he had issues with Haley on, or vice versa, let's say, hey, Haley was correct on the things that she had issues with Blake on. The problem is when your partner's been telling you that for like so many years, sometimes you're like, you've been fighting against it so long, you won't take their word for it, right? Like, I don't want to hear that from my partner because that's your problem, right? Like, you're the only one that you have that problem with me. So sometimes like you go elsewhere and the advice that you get, you take from somebody else who haven't been stuck in the house with for 5 years.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, I know it's an annoying dynamic because we joke about it all the time. I'll tell you something 20 times and then you're like, oh, hey, look what I found on YouTube. And it's like, bro, I've been telling you that.
You've
for
been
like
telling me that. But it's like, it's different. We hear
sometimes it's different. Yeah. Sometimes like coming from your partner, it just don't hit the same. Unfortunately, even if you trust your partner, it's just like, no, this is something we fight about. So I don't even trust your judgment on this, or I'm not going to take it as serious as like, oh wait, somebody from the outside, a third party, which is why people go to therapy.
Yes.
I was like, oh, a third party is also telling me this. Maybe I should take it a little bit more seriously.
See, that's how I am with YouTube or like, ChatGPT. I'm like,
but it's annoying because I'd be right.
Party. No, you're right every time. I'm like, damn it.
So.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. But I think I've kind of said everything I need to say. I think there's definitely a lot of growing for all of those people. Good luck to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else on your end?
No, that was it. That wraps up the Ultimatum season 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully the next one will be better.
Better, vet people better, get better something on the show. Get something better on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, still entertaining enough and worth the watch if you like the couples dynamic from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us know your thoughts. Also, I would love to hear what your favorite relationship type shows are.
Yeah.
I want to see if there's like any that we, haven't really dove into.
Yeah.
Anything that you'd like to see from us.
Yeah.
We love Love Island was so fun.
Yeah, some of them we get to watch and you're like, this one's okay. Yeah,
yeah, that's how I am. Like with what is it? Perfect
Match. That's a hard. Yeah, I don't care much for that one.
Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah,
we were into Too Hot to Handle for like a moment there, and then it just like kind of fizzled out and such. But
it's because they recycle the people over and over, and it's like I don't care to see these people again.
Yeah.
That's me. But obviously they do well for other people. But for me, it's just like I don't find. That's just me. But yeah, if there's other shows.
I will say one thing that you probably will never get from us if you're fans is The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I just feel like we just don't have like the time.
I've watched a couple of seasons. Some of the seasons have been okay for me. But yeah, that's a long.
Them, but it depends on who it is, honestly, for me.
Yeah.
And that was like, what, 5 years ago?
Yeah,
like Matt, I can't remember
Matt
what
was cool.
season
I like
Matt.
Yeah, I like Matt. Yeah,
yeah. So
and whichever season Chad was on, there was a season a guy named Chad, and he was hilarious. He was a very, very toxic person, but very hilarious.
Oh my
nonetheless.
gosh!
But he was a lot of fun to watch. Other than that,
That's
it. Thank you guys for tuning in to Love Up for Debate this week. We will see you on the next one. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful rest of the week and weekend.
Bye, guys.